morning, good afternoon, wherever and whenever you happen to be listening. I am so excited to welcome to the show Patty Lares, the principal of AA Lares Insurance in Orange, California. Now, the funny thing about having Patty on as a guest is that this is the first time that I don't know my guest. Like, we have not met in person. We've had pretty limited interaction at this point. We were introduced by a mutual friend and colleague in the industry, Kelly Donahue Puro, KDP. So was super intrigued by the little bit of backstory that Kelly gave me in the email. So I'm excited to dig into that today and a whole bunch of other things. Thank you so much for being on the show, Patty. How are you?
Amazing, and I'm honored. Thank you so much for considering to have me on. Like, I am honored, and it is a wonderful day. Very sunny here in California today.
You know, it's actually, I feel like it's the first time that I can legit say it is sunny and hot in Dubuque, Iowa as well. Like, we are hitting 87 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we get like the hot and humid wave. So we just get everything at once, and then it'll like go back to spring next week or something like that. Like, who knows? But we are kicking off June pretty strong here. So I'm excited about that. So yeah. So how is everything going? How is life? Are you starting to feel like things are bouncing back a little bit after everything that we've been through in the last couple of months?
You know, I started feeling that way actually, right? It was seemed like, all right, 2 months, completely isolation, and no one in the office but me, and all of that. And in fact, last week we did like a soft opening. Some of the girls came back. We have the shield guards, like the whatever sneeze guards.
Yeah.
On the front of the desk. We don't have a lot of people to walk in, and we definitely did not announce that we are open again. And the good thing for us, we all have individual offices too, so kind of, people go back. But then with this unfortunate event happening with this protest, literally yesterday, so we have two offices, one in the city of Orange and one in Anaheim. The office in Anaheim actually is literally down the street from City Hall and the police department. So we had to shut down. We boarded up a couple of the windows just in case. Nothing happened. It was all great, but scary times. It's just kind of for the whole entire country.
Yeah. It's hard to like understand that this is what we're dealing with. Like, and we're struggling so much already. And then to see something added on top of all of that, like your heart breaks again. I mean, like to watch the impact that there's been on people and businesses and homes from the pandemic. And now this, it's certainly just, it's just like one major crisis after another. And I think that you would agree, like the best thing we can do is pull together and exercise a lot more compassion, because it's not an issue that I completely understand from the front lines, but it breaks my heart. And so now knowing that my kids are at ages where they're super aware of different things and occurrences in the world, like it's hard.
Absolutely. It's just just really putting, getting it together, and like that's what I tell the team. Like we come in to serve and just to shift and understand that, just like us, everyone else is struggling. There's something happening in their life. And I think just many of us get very, very influenced, by our surroundings or what is happening on social media. Or it's interesting because yesterday, actually since Sunday, one of my team members started texting me like, oh my gosh, there's going to be, protest in the area, and she was so concerned. I mean, I literally spent like an hour on the phone with her, and I just walking her through like what's coming up for you, and like all these things. And I said, okay, so what would you do in that case? well, there's really nothing I can do. Okay, so we can't, so I
Mm-hmm.
invited her into shifting and thinking, what about just your tonality, your voice, your smile, that can bring some sort of peace to the person that you're speaking with on the other,
Yeah.
and that maybe they are feeling threatened because their business may get, damaged, like they haven't been able to open their business this last few months, and then now a worry to they will not be able to open it for quite some time. So anyway, it's just really, I think if we remove to a degree ourselves from the situation and there's no attachment to it, then you're able to better see and better serve them.
Yeah. And I think that that's amazing that you spent that time to just help create that reflection point. Because it can be really difficult. We get like down in the trenches of it and we get very emotional about it. And there has to be that balance of subjective and objective, and helping employees get to that point where they can just kind of like reframe and say, what is my role? What can I do to improve it? Or is it something that I can't do anything about? But yeah, like just smiling, providing comfort, like those are little things that make a huge impact. So I love the idea of like going through that exercise. And it probably helped her calm down as well. Like,
It did, because I think, like I said, you can go home. Absolutely. I think that you should. I mean, we shut down early as to just go home, right, before this whole thing. And then you can go home now. And she's like, yeah, but I'm still going to be worried at home. Okay. So, can you be now a giver and just create a safe space for someone? So she chose to stay, and, until like 3 o'clock. And she went home. But
yeah.
yeah.
And I think that when we're able to give of ourselves just a little bit, like the return in terms of the way that it helps us is like, it's huge, right? It's exponential. Which is not obviously the reason, but it's an amazing byproduct. So
Of course.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, gosh, it's like, I don't know what the right thing is. Like ultimately I know what the ideal right thing is, but how we find our way through something that feels so painful right now, we can't, it's like, it's hard to see beyond the pain right now, and the sadness and the hurt. But I do hope that it's something that we evolve from and we start showing up better for one another after something like this.
I hope so too. I mean, I am all for speaking your voice. And more than anything, I think that standing for um, equality and different things, right? But definitely no destruction. And so I think sometimes we mix our feelings. To be quite honest, I feel that if we just focus in humanity, like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't, regardless of what you or I look like, we're still human. Like,
Yeah.
like if you pinch me, it's gonna hurt
Yeah.
the same way it would hurt you. So I
Yeah.
think that sometimes we lose that, like, somehow we forget that, we're all made out of the same kind of, blood and veins and bones and
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. Yeah. And it gets heated fast, right? It's never like a slow burn. It is just like, or maybe it's always like, it's always there and then it just explodes. I don't know, but it just feels like when it happens, the reaction is just so huge. But yeah, I think it's a matter of taking all of that hurt and which is, there's a lot of passion in there. And then how do we channel it for really good things? But I
I
don't,
think that's an important thing.
yeah, I wish
I
I
think that's
knew.
important when you use a channel, like, just really, like, we have a great opportunity to show up as leaders right now.
Yeah.
As leaders of, love, leaders of, yeah, it's just like what we do in our business every day. To me is, let me just focus and just get a group of people and let uplift you and say, regardless, Olivia, of where, you come from, like, like Mike would say, you have a spotless future. And we really do have a spotless future. Like, today I
Yep.
choose that. And rather than that doesn't mean that we're going to go away and not and ignore what's happening, but really address it in a positive way. Like everything that happens in our life, again, like this COVID, right, can be, I can get really depressed about it. I can just get really scared and and fearful, and then I shut down, and then I don't really, create anything for the world. Or I can say, okay, well, now I'm gonna slow down. It gives me an opportunity to really revisit, which is what I did with a lot of our processes in the office and things like that. Even my own family brought me great opportunity for my older kids to come home every Friday. We spent weekends together, and we ate, we played, we watched movies, we exercised. It's just been so much fun having that opportunity.
Yeah.
As well, that it would have probably happened.
Oh, right. We weren't going to get that opportunity any other way unless you were like, I'm going to take a sabbatical. It probably wasn't going to happen. But so what I hear when you say this, Patty, is like embracing the power of influence.
Absolutely.
We all have some sphere of influence in some way, but especially as, people that are leaders, in any capacity, like it is so critical to use that power of influence, because you never know when what you say helps the person that you talk to make a better decision when they're put in a tough situation, where, they can choose one direction or the other, but something that you said helped them make a better decision at that point in time. And so, I think, embracing that power of influence, not just in our workplaces, but in our homes as well. Because I think I had seen this quote, and I'm not going to be able to find it while I'm on this Zoom recording for sure, but it was talking about how like fear can be contagious, but calm can be contagious as well. And so deciding which one you're going to promote out into the world is super critical, especially when we're in very difficult situations like we are right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting you say that, because I do this I've done it forever, but when I come into the office, and life happens at home sometimes, right before I hit the office, and I have to stop for a moment before I walk into the doors. I always tell myself, like, all right, what are you ready to create today? And when I come in, there's times, right, you have team members that maybe something is going on in their own life, and they're not always waiting for me with a big smile. And it's like, okay, something's happening. But I have to choose before I actually look at anyone's face, before anything, like, I choose joy today. I choose, influence. I choose power. I just choose to come in and be and influence people that way. If they're not feeling it, not too bad. Hopefully they'll feel it throughout the day. But I get to show up the way I intend to show up. And I cannot allow negativity to really influence me today.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love that. So my exercise in the morning, when I'm journaling, is how do I want to feel today? Which was a tip from my coach. But just like really taking 30 seconds even to think about that. Oh, what is that? Oh, that.
Thought a day journal. So sometimes I don't get to journal as much as I want to, but I just put a thought.
Yeah, I'm borderline neurotic about journaling. I have multiple journals, and they all serve different purposes, but we can talk about that some other time.
I interrupted your thoughts there, so I apologize. I'm like, oh, journal.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes that's what you need to do, right? Because otherwise you can't like get your focus back on whatever you were doing. Like, I totally get that. Like, I have random notes all over the place, and it felt good to get it out, but sometimes I look at it and again I'm like, that's eventually that's going to come back to me, and I'm going to remember why I did that. Oh my gosh. So, speaking of everything that we have been through over the last few months, being home, did you work from home during the pandemic? Did you do a little bit of both? I mean, I'm not, I think insurance agencies were essential businesses, so you had the opportunity to choose. But, did you stay home, or did you do a little bit of
I'm a workaholic, but no, I did. I live 5 minutes away.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I do have my home office, and I did stay a week. Uh, I love my mom, and I am so like glad that I had the opportunity to have her at home.
Yeah.
But she's bored. She can't go to the senior center, so being home sometimes she'd walk in, and I feel really bad because she wants to talk, and I was trying to work. And so I just feel like coming to the office for me was a better focus.
Yeah.
It's so nice to just be quiet with my little music in the background, my
Yeah.
jazz, and I'm just like at it.
I,
So,
yeah.
but,
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you there. So did you have a fuller house during this time?
no, so yes, absolutely, because my daughter came home from college. But you know, I just wanted to add, like at the office, we were shut down completely. So
Oh,
everyone
yeah.
went home. Everyone
Yeah.
went home. But at home too, that's what it was. It was like, my daughter came home from college. My daughter's boyfriend came home from college. Spending a lot of time around the house. My other daughter, my son, like his work, a lot of his work is in the music industry. That's
Okay.
completely shut down. So yeah, we had like like I said, it was nice, but to work, yeah. I said Friday nights, guys, Friday nights we'll get together.
Yeah. Yeah. Like this might be too much for us to be intersecting in every hallway all day, every
All
day.
day long.
Oh my gosh. So you have three kids?
I have 3 kids of my own. I have a total of 5. Let's just say I have
Okay.
5
Yep.
children and a grandson. Yes.
Which is amazing. I'm gonna explain. There's no way that you are old enough to be a grandmother. Like,
That's right. I agree with you. But
yes.
somehow it happened.
I mean, if there's a way for you to be like a 30-year-old grandmother, then, potentially I'll believe it. But
Yeah, thank you so much. But, yeah. I was 19 when I had my daughter, and she was 19 when she had her son.
okay.
So that's how it happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do
But
the
otherwise,
math. Stop it.
there's no other way it could happen. Absolutely. That's wow. But is it fun being a grandma?
Oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
He is so much fun, and he's a handful.
Yeah.
But I am the cool grandma. I'm the grandma that can run. So
Perfect.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
a cool grandma.
Yeah.
And of course, grandma always gets everything for him, and
Yeah.
he always threatens mom to come to my house, and he doesn't want to be with her, and
Yeah. Oh
So,
yeah. I mean, and my kids are like that too. It's always like, well, I mean, grandma will do it. I'm like, So then sometimes I'm like, well, then I'm gonna let grandma do it. It is kind of a nice relief from the mom perspective. And I'm sure you remember those days as well. Like it's like, yeah, I'll let grandma handle this one.
yeah, absolutely, go with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'd love to hang out with you.
Yeah, I just tell my daughter, you're my kid now, and these are the rules at home, and especially her. And when you have your own kids, then you do whatever you want with them.
Yep.
But in the meantime, these are the rules, so you follow them. So now, and when she tells me, well, mom, don't give them this, don't give them that, I said, hey, the rules at home are the rules. I'll follow them, but certain things here at my house, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So you need to know that.
Laying down the law.
Yeah.
So I want to switch gears here a little bit because Kelly gave me just like a little teaser about your backstory, how you ended up in the insurance industry, quite the journey, and I mean, quite the obstacle that you overcame in order to be where you are today. So can you walk us through what life was like before and then, in those early years of getting into the insurance industry?
Sure. I'll do how long do we have? No. No. I'll do a fast version.
I'll pop some popcorn.
Awesome. I'll do a fast version. Due to home circumstances, I left my parents' home when I was 16 years old. So, back in those days, high school, I mean, you were taught how to type, and I used, 10 key calculator. So like, I was really good at those two things.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to survive. I needed a job, and also the newspapers was in existence. So the, Orange County Register, Sunday nights, the version, Sundays was the version of like all the jobs that were listed.
Yeah.
Anyway, found a receptionist job, and it happened to be at an insurance agency. And that's how my career started. Not knowing that's where I would end up. I went into that insurance agency, just got the job. And within the first week, I was quoting. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was really simple. Like, and we didn't have computers.
Yeah.
So, it was all you had to write factors, and you had the worksheet, and you had to learn underwriting. And so I don't know, somehow I don't remember how long it took me, but I do know that I was quoting within a week. And we used to type all the applications. So I will never forget my very first client a week later. Can you imagine? Oh my God, at 16? Like,
yeah, I was gonna say, so you're 16 and you're gonna like tell somebody about their insurance policy.
They were crazy, and so was I, but I did it. He was very patient as I was trying to type, fill in the information.
Yeah.
But it took off from there. Really, they wanted me to get licensed, and I just kept saying one reason or another. I mean, I don't know how many reasons I gave why I could not. And then as soon as I turned 18, then I was able to say, oh, by the way, yeah, I can get licensed now. And so then I had to give her the whole story because, coming in, I had to get a fake ID and all that. Anyway, those were the days.
No, I don't think that anybody has tried so hard to work in insurance.
I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I absolutely, when I think about it, I think like, what was it? And I think what it was the interaction with people.
Mm-hmm.
And as you ask people about their occupation and what they do and why they do it, I don't know. I guess I learned to ask all those questions without really knowing that it's kind of good to connect with people.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it. And then the other thing I learned, because in the agency where I was at, they didn't have anyone that spoke Spanish. So as Spanish speakers would walk in, because we were on a main street, they would send them down the street to another agency. And so then I said, well, wait a minute. Like, I speak Spanish. Like, I can help them.
Yeah.
And I said, you want to? I'm like, sure. Why not? And it took off from there because a year and a half later, the person that was in charge, like the office manager, had some issues. And anyway, she left. So I became the office manager.
Oh my gosh. So how old are you at this point?
And a half, almost 18 years old. I became the office manager. So when I hired, I'm like, heck no, this is a lot of work because now the Spanish clients started saying, no, they have really good rates and they have someone that speaks Spanish. And so a lot of people started to come. And I'm like, okay, I'm the only one working all day long because, like I'm helping people, which I love, don't get me wrong. So I thought, I got smart. I said, no, we need to hire more people. They need to be bilingual because they got to help.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so from there on, they just hired a lot of people that were bilingual because we needed help. Anyway, that turned into, I worked there for 13 years. And, went to a bigger location. The agency grew like crazy, went through the Prop 103 durations where I worked from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Oh.
I mean, it's just a lot. Loved it. I was producing over 100 policies a month.
Wow.
And it's just crazy, crazy, crazy times. But, I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to really go on my own. And it was a really unique way of, just really unheard of how I was so blessed to receive a Mercury contract.
Okay.
Which I almost lost, actually. Yeah. Anyway, that's a whole other story. But I just, we'll stay with the positive part of it.
Yeah.
It was a struggle, let's say that. But for darn it, I'm going to date myself now. But for my 29th birthday, I gave myself the gift of quitting.
Ah.
And my last day there was September 22nd, 2000.
Okay.
And October 2nd, I opened the doors to my office.
Oh my gosh.
And my God, life just changed completely.
Wow. So you have had your agency since 2000, and it has, yeah, no kidding. So this is a big anniversary year.
Big one. It's 2020.
That's amazing.
Yes.
I love it. That's so exciting. So are you guys do you have a big, well, I don't know what we can do, but do you have a celebration planned?
Well, we have one, and it's kind of been put off, like, what do you do? How long is it going to last? It's like, do I do it this way? Do I do it that? I mean, I had a huge plan. It was going to be like theme of the 20s, kind of like,
yeah,
2020, just kind of go with the 20s. We may end up doing something,
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a blessing. Like, in fact, this past weekend, what I did, Friday, most of the afternoon till like 10 o'clock at night, all of Saturday from like 8 to 10, and Sunday until like 4 o'clock, I literally went through about 10 boxes of files.
Oh.
Because I'm still in the same building. So when I opened my business, I leased a space here in Orange, a small space, and I, was gifted some desks and like furniture and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But 7 years later, I was fortunate to purchase a building.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So then 10 years after that, in 2017, we remodeled the entire second floor.
Okay.
So we're on the second floor. It's like really nice, really.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of shoved all of those files for like 20 years into these boxes.
Yes, as do most agencies.
It was so like touching this weekend, because I literally found like my original contract, all this stuff. Like, oh my God, this is so much. But extremely blessed. It's been so much fun. It's been a lot of hard work and heartbreaks throughout.
Yeah. What an amazing journey. So what I always love when I get to hear these stories from people, for one, it gives me such an inside look about like who you are, but like we all take these very interesting paths to get here. And then like, here's you and me on this Zoom recording together. Like it's so crazy to me how this industry brings such unlikely pairings together, but I love it. Like it is one of the things that I love most about insurance, for sure. Maybe the top thing.
Honestly, like I tell my kids, I tell everyone, it is one of the essentials in life, but in the entire world. Because like, think about insurance, like you insure everything and anything.
Yeah.
And not just in the US, but any country.
Yeah.
Really. And it's so simple. It's difficult, but yet so simple.
Yeah. If you look at the core of it, then, and you build from there, it certainly is a much easier thing to try and work through. If you try and like eat the whole elephant at once, it is super intimidating.
Super intimidating.
Yeah.
And that's how I just worked a piece at a time.
Yeah.
It wasn't always fun. It wasn't always easy, because what I did, I came from a very big agency that could cushion losses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Also, and I'm saying anything bad, I learned, that was like my university, because I have to tell you, at 16, moving out of my house, I dropped out of high school in the 10th grade.
Yeah.
And once I got the job, and then I had my first child, and then my second child, like I decided to go back to school. Well, actually, before my kid, I actually had my GED, because when I went back, they said, "Oh, you're so close to 18. You're better off just getting a GED." And I'm like, okay. I'll do that. And it was super boring. So I'm like, okay, I just need to get this done. How can I pass this test?
Yeah.
And then I went and, anyway, moved on to community college and did some classes. That's because computers were coming in and I was so embarrassed not to know how to even turn on anything. Like, yeah, that's the on button. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And, but I just took some classes now more towards what I would be able to utilize within my industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Which is, it makes sense. I mean, and I'm not downing any part of the college system, but there is a lot to be said about being able to focus in what you know you're going to be doing. And you knew at that point what you were going to be doing. So you knew exactly where to laser in, which is a pretty amazing thing. Not everybody has that awareness or confidence in what they want to do at that age, or any age maybe.
I always knew that I wanted to buy. I always knew that I wanted to have a business.
Mm-hmm.
Always, like, I mean, I can tell you a story, but like I said, you don't have a lot of time. But I can remember like being 5 years old and cutting some guava from my godmother's tree next door.
Yeah.
And I bring them outside. I mean, like she wasn't gonna find out, and I put a little stand in front of the house, and I would be selling them. And like, I would help mom with like Mary Kay and all those things that, you sell Avon and whatever.
Yeah.
I'll go to the neighbors, So I guess I kind of knew that I liked selling.
Yeah. Yeah. You had that entrepreneurial spirit from a very, very young age. Which I'm always hoping like I'll see that in one of my kids, but they're always like, hey, I want to have a lemonade stand. I'll be like, okay, go do it. Now we don't live in town, so it would be very difficult for them to make any money selling lemonade, but they want me to go and like do it for them. And I'm like, no, like if you feel like it's important, then you need to put together a lemonade stand. So yeah, but we don't get a lot of traffic out here. So I think they'd probably be disappointed in the results, but yeah, we'll see. I'm like watching for that thing where I'm like, yes, you're my future business owner, but I don't know. So when you look back on this amazing journey from age 16 entering the insurance industry to now celebrating 20 years of owning your own agency, what is one of the biggest lessons that you've learned in that incredible career that you've had?
Gosh, just like pay attention. I think one of the biggest things, just slow down sometimes to really think through what is happening of the action.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we're going so fast. So one, you miss out enjoying it, learning, or embracing.
Yeah.
Consistently have to pull myself back.
Yeah. So who do you feel like has had like a major impact on your journey, has influenced any part of your life, whether it was, work or outside of work with family? Who have those people been in your life?
It's a very good question. I feel that throughout the time, there's been different people, right? Like you say, like that saying, I don't even know how it says, but whatever, right? Like different people come and go in your life. And I want to say my very humble beginnings, because I was so young and I couldn't tell the truth at the time of my age. I actually met an Allstate agent who insured me because I could tell him I had my driver's license, so he knew my age. Anyway, so he, for me, George Brown, has been, I tell him he's been my guardian angel. Like I've been so blessed to like meet him in person.
Yeah.
Because he was just so encouraging, from the moment I met him. And then I remember I was 19, had just had my baby, and he was issuing a life insurance policy for me. And I remember sharing with George, I said, George, I'd love to own my own agency. Because at this point, I've had a couple of years in the industry. I see it, my connections with people. And it wasn't like, I would love to do that. And so he's like, well, why don't you do it? And I'm like, oh my God, like, no. And I can't. And I remember him sitting in my living room because I bought my first house at 19. And And so he's sitting there. He goes, well, all that could happen if it doesn't work. Like, you don't have this house, you'll just go into an apartment. Or maybe right now you're able to eat, like meat 3 times a week for dinner, then maybe you just won't. If it didn't work. Or maybe you're driving, which I didn't have a nice car, by the way, but whatever car you're driving, well, then maybe you'll just take the bus to work.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot. So anyway, I think I met several people, and that was something that always like stuck in my head. And so, so I continue to work through. The way this whole thing happened was that 3 years prior to me getting my contract, I actually had approached the marketing rep, because at this point I'm building relationships with other carrier representatives. Anyway, and I had asked, like, what will it take,
Yeah.
And so anyway, I had started working and saving, because these were my 2 ultimates. Either I go on my own, I completely quit working, and I stay home and raise my kids.
Yeah.
Because the challenge was on. Like, I am now, having, like, I have 2 kids, thinking of a 3rd child, and that's just not going to happen.
Right.
So anyway, so he was one of the big influencers for me, and he called me one day out of the blue, like I had not talked to him in like a year. And he calls me and says, hey, Patty, I'm selling my Allstate agency. I'm done with my book. I'm done with Allstate. I'm going independent. I reached out to Mercury, and here's my offer. Do you want to be my partner? And I'm like, what? Yeah, hold on. like when I die, like, are you serious right now?
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my gosh, like all these things, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
It's
that was
crazy.
him then.
Yeah, it all comes together, right? Like, you couldn't have created that path, but like, if you even like tried to dream up your perfect situation, and then like to see everything come together.
And it was in the process, because Mercury told him basically, look, if Patty comes with you, you have the contract. And the only reason was because they knew that I knew the underwriting.
Yeah.
And he had the money.
Yeah.
That's the only 2 things. Like, you have money, she knows what to do. Perfect, right? Perfect match. But it was through that process that I said, because of all the years of hearing, like, oh, there's no way Mercury would ever appoint you. Like, it would take me, or the promises and all of these things, right? So then I thought, gosh, yeah, I'm never going to be able to do this without someone like him. Like,
Yeah.
I can't do it. I don't, So anyway, I started saving before that, because something would, like, it was in me, like, I'm going to try it anyway. But anyway, when that happened, through the process of the contract, I said, George, I love you, but I don't know, like, I really want to try this on my own. And he's like, so why haven't you? And I said, because, these are all the things that I've been told, right? And he goes, well, that's all BS, and you can do it. And so we're sitting in this meeting with the marketing rep, and he says, hey, we have a request. And he tells them, like, can you appoint the both of us separately?
Yeah.
Anyway, it took a lot. Like I said, I just read my business plan, my savings account. Like, I had to give so much to them. And by the grace of God, I really was like July 24th of 2000, they called me and said, you got it. I had nothing. So I literally had 6 weeks to find a place, get my license, like everything to open.
Yeah.
And through now the years forward, moving forward, a lot of my marketing reps. And then in the last probably 5-6 years, I have met just some, probably longer, 7-8 years, the most amazing people in the industry that I can drop so many names, and I will, because I truly feel that they have, like, to different degrees, and I'm sorry, like, impacted me in such ways that the growth was there. Like, I can see every year I had growth from 2000 to 2010.
Yeah.
And it kind of like stopped. And then I meet, like Mike Strumso, Press Paradiso, Claudia McLean. These people will forever have changed my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they are amazing individuals. Like, and
Absolutely.
and I don't know them very well, but I see the way that they show up in my life.
Yeah.
It's I know. I totally get it. Like the fact that I'm not like crying with you is pretty amazing right now. But yeah, I mean, I remember like, you know, connecting with Chris on social media and like, and it was just like these interactions and whatever. We didn't even get on the phone. I don't even know. Like I interviewed him for something and then we finally like actually had a one-on-one phone conversation just a couple of months ago.
Oh, nice.
But it was like, we were on the phone for well over an hour. I'm like, it feels like it's been 15 minutes. Like, so I look forward to actually like getting to meet him in person. But yeah, I mean, there are so many amazing people in this industry who don't get stuck in the whole competition winning thing. Like they want to be winning for sure.
Of course, of course.
But I think that before that, their goal is to support the industry and the individuals that make up this amazing insurance that we get to work in every day. I mean, it's like one of the most generous and like we're a family. Like it's a big family. We take care of one another.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I wish I would have met like other people that were willing to like be forgiving in my early days. Now I have a ton of people, right? Like lots of other agency owners around here, and we just exchange information. Oh my gosh, you should try this and you should try that. And hey, I'm doing this with my automation. Oh, I'm doing this with, you know, and it's so nice to see everyone like succeed and just continue to just flourish.
Yeah.
And it's in the giving that you receive. Absolutely. Like,
Yep. Definitely. Definitely. And I have seen that over and over in the way that people have supported all, you know, all different parts of my career, especially this most recent one. So it's been extremely rewarding. And I don't know, I mean, I can't imagine like doing something like it's hard for me to imagine doing something else. I'm like, well, I don't know what I would do.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because these are like insurance people are my people.
That's right. And we're fun.
Yeah, we're a ton of fun. We're so much fun. Oh my gosh. So you, I think, were a natural born leader. Like if I had to guess at age 16, coming into what a lot of 16-year-olds would not have probably done. Like I think of my son in 3 years, if he had to suddenly fend for himself, I'm not sure of what kind of decisions he would make. But you made a really bold decision, and I'm sure it was scary at the time, and especially having to try and put off getting licensed for 2 years. But you you evolved into leadership very quickly. So I'm guessing like it's probably something that's pretty innate in you, but now you have this agency, and you have this team that you have this amazing influence over every single day. How do we help more women? How do we encourage them to really take that step into leadership, to like make those bold moves?
I think it's trusting themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Truly trusting. I know it's easier said than done, but we truly set our own limitations, like on ourselves.
Yeah.
Again, like it's just I think it boils down to worthiness. Am I worthy enough? And I have to tell you, you're definitely worth it. Like, I don't care what the past has been, I don't care what is happening today. Like, you are totally worth it.
Now you're going to make me cry.
Because it's been a limitation for so many.
Yeah. 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 I think, yeah, self-doubt will stop you in your tracks before anybody else does.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And I can tell you, Olivia, like for me, you know, talk about an immigrant that came here when I was 12 years old. I had to learn a language. Then I find myself literally out in the street and I had to survive. And then going this, but I don't remember ever thinking that I was more than or less than. However, I did find myself like being okay with what others said about me. Like, oh, you're this or you're that. And I'm like, for a long time, I thought that was okay. Like, okay, well, these are the limitations, right?
Yeah.
And it's not okay. It's not okay. And you are worthy enough. Again, we come back to like, what do we look or nothing. It just doesn't matter. Like my biggest encouragement for any woman or men for that matter. So what?
Yeah.
You're created for greatness. And it's within you that you'll find it.
Yeah. I love it. I think it's, I need that.
You're like, oh, like you can do it. Like I see you, like, and I don't know much about you, but I see you, and just the way you're able to, ask and just make people feel so comfortable. Because you make me feel just comfortable, like I've known you forever, and you just like have this like, you create this space. You're creating space for me to be able to be vulnerable and share with you.
Yeah.
I'm okay, and you're okay.
Oh.
You're gonna do great things. You already done great things, by the way. Great things.
Oh no! Well, I love you for saying that. Thank you so much. I mean, but I think it's an important message that we can't put limits on ourselves, and it can be, for me to kind of cater to the opinion of others. But yeah, we have to be okay with ourselves first. I love it. I love it. This is.
Well, I'm glad.
I'm gonna make a quote board from this.
Yay!
Interview. Oh my gosh.
Hey, I'm working on a workshop that's going to be called Intimacy. It's about intimacy. That's not what it's going to be called, but it's based on intimacy, but intimacy with myself.
Yeah.
Because sometimes and when I say intimacy is not in a sexual relationship, but it's
right.
Just being intimate with someone. Like, can you be intimate?
Yeah.
Who can you be intimate with? Truly, who sees you for who you are? And a lot of times we can spend a lot of time seeing others, catering, serving others, and that's wonderful, don't get me wrong. But then you start leaving yourself aside and aside and aside, and that's where the self-worthiness comes into place. Well, I'm not worthy, like I'm just only good enough for this or that.
Yeah.
But I'm here to tell you now, you're worthy of everything and anything.
I think that's great advice for everybody to keep in mind. I don't know. So I just got done listening to, I didn't read it, Alicia Keys' book, More Myself.
Oh, I'm going to write it down.
Yeah, it's so good for one, but she talks about how it's not usually like one big event that changes your opinion of yourself. It's all these little things, and you lose track of yourself. Mm-hmm. You lose who you are, and you have to be very conscious of making that effort to find yourself again and to get back to who you are. And so, yeah, I think what you said just kind of reminded me of that passage from the book. So, yeah.
Create that vision board.
Yes. I need to get mine back out. It probably needs to be updated. In fact, I think it's a couple years old, and my life is very different than it was 2 years ago. So, yeah, I should probably do that. So, if you could go back and tell your younger self, and I know we've kind of like talked about this a little bit, but if you could give yourself one piece of advice at age 16, what would it be?
I would say, get rid of your ego and don't lone wolf. It's very lonely.
Yeah.
There's so many people that are willing to be there for you, that are willing to lift you up. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we go through life and in business, especially in business, being afraid. If I share this and they're going to take my idea, they're going to make it great. Well, if they do that, you have the same opportunity and you didn't do it. Mm-hmm. But I guarantee you it's not. What you'll end up happening is lean on those people that have had the experience, that have had those struggles. That's what I would tell myself. Like, don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed of who you are. and be vulnerable to, and open up to people that are willing to guide you. And, because life can be so much easier when you have a support group, really. And then you go through like so many years, you're like, oh my gosh, if I only could have asked that person.
Yeah.
I think getting vulnerable, that's what I would tell myself. Be vulnerable, Patty. Get rid of your ego. Because it is, at the end of the day, we don't think it's an ego, but it really is. It's shame. Get rid of shame.
Yeah. Are you a big Brene Brown fan?
I am. I love her.
I love her so much.
I'm actually listening to like Braving in the Wilderness for like the third time.
What do I have? I have Rising Strong, Daring Greatly, but I'm in the middle of I Thought It Was Just Me. I have 5 Brene Brown books on my shelf right now.
I'm looking at mine too. I have them all.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. She is my.
And we have a book club here at work, and so every month we do a book. So we've read all of her books here.
She's my girl crush. For sure. Oh my gosh. Yeah. If I got to pick like the ultimate like celebrity interview, I think it would be Brene Brown.
Oh my gosh, me too. And I would, so my workshop is going to be based on, like Maya and Brene and like Oprah and Michelle Obama.
No, these are all amazing women. Believe, like I'm on board. Like, can I come?
Yeah, it's like go to like any of their signings.
Perfect. Oh my gosh. So we're getting close to the end of our time together, but I do have a couple more questions. So what does the future look like for Patty? Like, what are your big plans or small plans? I don't care if it's just like, I'm going to go on vacation. But yeah, what does the future look like for Patty?
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for asking. I just asked myself this because I've had a couple opportunities. So in the last year, I acquired another agency, did an acquisition, and I'm actually, been blessed and in the middle of another transaction right now. But what I love the most is learning from these people because they've been in the industry for so long. So what's in it for me in the next year would be that. I love challenges. I'm also working on our just creating the automation for producers. Oh my gosh, that blows my mind. I'm horrible at this technology, but I am putting all the effort into learning. Yeah. So I know how it works because I'm designing it. And I just got really smart and hired someone that's an expert in my management system. And I mean, I tell you, she is the best. And we're cleaning up data. So you can see, why? Because in this vision board, you probably can't see it, but right here is the view to my house at the beach. I don't know what the house will look like. I don't care if it's just a tent or a roof, but I have to see that view. and that'll be just so that my vision is having someone that can support me running the agency, and I can produce because that's what I love to do the most.
Yeah.
And I can get up and journal on that and just still be able to.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I love a good view. Sunrise, sunset. I don't even care which one it is. Like, I just love a good view. I'm with you. I sit outside and just journal and watch the sun come up, and it is my happy place for sure.
Awesome. That's exactly what I do. Yeah.
So final question.
Yes.
If you got to play DJ for 5 minutes, you get to pick any song for the whole world to listen to, what would it be?
Oh my God. I am horrible at names. I love dancing. Okay, but the one that came as you said that, gosh, only 2 songs, but they're in Spanish.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay, all right. So one is Mark Anthony, Mi Vida, which is my life.
Okay.
I see that. So you gotta just listen to it because I think he sings it in English as well.
Okay.
And then there's another one that is this very famous Cuban singer, Celia Cruz is her name, and it's called La Vida. So the life es un carnaval. So life is a carnival.
Ah.
And if you listen to all the words, it makes me so happy because she talks about the life being pink and then being black, like life just having all kinds of colors. But at the end of the day, you just have to live it. You just have to enjoy it and just have I don't know. But every time I feel like down, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go play it, and then I'm dancing and I'm singing. I'm just like, yep, that's it. You got to live it. This is part of life. You have to experience it.
Yes, I love it. Like life is full of color and dimension.
Yep. Yep.
Ah, I love it. I love it. Maybe there's lyrics in English and I can.
Yeah, you could, even if you did, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they have them in English, the
Yeah.
lyrics, especially Mark Anthony. But if you just like play the song,
Yeah,
oh
I'll
yeah,
get it.
you'll get it. You'll feel it.
I love it. I'm so excited. I am going to check these songs out. I can't even tell you how grateful I am for this time together. It's hard for me to believe that we just met each other an hour ago. Like this is unbelievable. Like
Me too. Thank you for becoming my friend. I love to continue to get to know you and just really spend some time. Like, are you kidding me? Like 1 hour, I have so much more to tell you.
I know. Well, next time I'm in California, I will definitely make a trip up the road to come and see
Yes,
you.
please.
Yes, for sure. And yeah, until then, we'll just stay in contact via email and phone and Zoom and all of the other fun ways that we can connect.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Well, thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your sunny afternoon in Southern California.
I will. And if you allow me to say it for anyone that listens, because I've been listening to your podcast, I would just say I'm open, Olivia, to like supporting anyone that's just starting, that's doubting, that they're stuck and story, why they can't move forward. I mean, I can tell you I have pictures from my very big, humble beginnings to now. And sometimes, honestly, like I feel so extremely blessed, and I'm willing to just be open to anyone who wants to come in.
Yes. I love it. So I will make sure to include ways that people can reach out to you in the show notes. And then you can give them all of your wisdom and vulnerability and passion and love, because I felt all of that during this conversation.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Love you.
We'll talk soon.
Okay.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Bye.